Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 56 in our Oxygen Not Included Redux series. We are working to finish out our job suitability achievement. So I am in here in our achievements right now to take a look at it, and the achievement has two different counters. One is the dupes who completed exosuit errands this cycle, and then the top one is all dupes do it for 0 out of 10 cycles. There's a bug where the counter on the top won't trip, so you kind of have to manage it just really closely, because what you have to do is make sure that you get 15 and do that for 10 cycles, and then it will trip this achievement. I think that that's still a thing. I was testing it out to see if I could do it, and then we're gonna give it a good go. Over the last few days, I haven't had a huge amount of time to play, so what I've been doing is working on just queuing up some achievements, or not achievements, some buildings, and then letting it play out for a few hours while I have been busy working on other things. And so I've gone through a couple hundred cycles that way. But so what we've done is we had our barracks finished up. We had 10 of them. Now I'm up to expanding it down. I'm going to have 14 total, and the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm bringing all the duplicants from Gorgani over except for one. I'm going to leave one here. I'm going to have some tasks queued up for them so that each cycle they get their exosuit task done, and then I can focus on just the one colony, queue up some tasks to guarantee that everybody leaves their house, gets a task done, and then I go from there. But I do want to quickly go around and kind of show you some of the other things I've done. Like I said, I'm finishing up this here. These are built. I just need to get the checkpoint put in and then assign them to duplicants as I bring them over. I'm building the last one here. I'm going to work on finishing this section right here today. So this is going to be our dining, our great hall and food storage. So we need to move our food from here over into a new storage system, which means I need to build basically this same system down here, and then I need to build this great hall, a similar one down here as well, so that we have enough space for all 14 of our duplicants to be able to eat in this great hall, so that way they're not, currently what they're doing is they're going to the bathroom, they're leaving, they're running all the way over here to grab food and eat, and then they're running all the way back to go to bed, and then sometimes they don't quite get all that done, and so then I'm dealing with morale issues. So if I have this right here, they can just leave their room, come down and eat, come back up, go to bed. And frankly, that should be enough to trigger us to get the achievement, because all of them will do that every day. But we'll also queue up some tasks just to guarantee that we get it. Other things I've been working on is I made a section down here where I made a crossroads of a sort here where I have a vacuumed out room, so that I can keep this down here separated from the top, so that way, we have a block here that is causing us to have a problem. But basically the duplicants can come through here, power can come through here, and then there's some insulation to keep our heat from transferring from down here up. We still have some gases that we're dealing with that have escaped from different projects I've been doing in here. I'm working on cleaning up some oil things, and what I did here is I ran a window tile all the way over to my lava pool so that I can keep pulling that heat out. My goal is to get rid of all of this heat using it just in our water boiler here. And then once that's done, I will install our new water boiler at the top. We had made it, and then a bunch of gases escaped, and so I was trying to get it all out. What I need to do is get visco gel so that I can create this with a seal so that we don't get polluted oxygen out. But for now, I'm just trying to close this room up. I'm rebuilding it now because the polluted oxygen is just going to be something I got to deal with. So I need to rebuild the layers in here and seal it up and turn this one on. But it hasn't been a high priority because I still want this one running so that we can use up this heat. And also, I don't really need the water. My water supplies, last I looked, fine. I'm also expanding to add another tank to our advanced filter system here. So that's another project that we've been doing on the sidelines, but we're going to let all that stuff kind of finish. I had some damage here because I had some liquid sulfur make its way into the system, which was hot enough to crack the pipes when it turned back into sulfur, which is all over the place here now. I need to clean that up. So, the other project that we're going to do that we need to work on, I just kind of lay these out here so I know where I'm building them, is we're going to be building a food system that is based on bristle blossoms and sleet wheat. And so I did some math and figured out that if I have, let me look at my spreadsheet actually so I can tell you for sure the exact numbers. So if I have 60 bristle blossom plants and 50 sleet wheat plants running, they will produce 40,000 calories per cycle, which is way more than I need, but it'll be easy to get set up because I have all the things I need to do it. I just need to recreate this with some lighting and run some water into it. This also runs with water, and then it uses up some dirt, and our water boiler produces dirt pretty steadily. This amount of dirt will last us another 600 cycles, and we'll have to just keep getting more dirt from the polluted water that we get and see how long we can go with that. But I just want to start making berry sludge so that we have massive stores of it. My barbecue is being diminished because I stopped stocking the eggs in here. I just put some more in so that we can start building it back up, and we're getting some more barbecue, but it had stopped for a long time. I want to switch over to this type of food primarily anyway. So a lot of projects to work on. We're going to focus right now on finishing this room up. We've gotten the coolant running into our deep freezer. And so you can see the chlorine gas is down to -24. Working next to start building our hydroponic farm, I am running some shipping rails all the way across from our base over here. I'm going to use it partially to unload all of this over quickly, but the main thing is that I'm going to have to get dirt over to our farm, and I already have a loader here that loads up dirt from here. I'm just going to ship it across to down here, and then we're going to have it in this receptacle so that it can be used for the farms here to fertilize them. May make some changes to that, but for now that's the whole plan. This is going to be, these two auto sweepers will be here so that they cover the entire farm. It can load into here, and so basically as the sleet wheat grows, it'll load into here and it'll get brought down to here. I think that this is how I want to do it, so that it's available here. The sweeper can pull it in as needed, and then basically this is going to fill up and the sleet wheat will sit in here, because this area is going to stay deep frozen. So the sleet wheat, if it's just sitting here, will stay deep frozen until we get it down to here, and so we won't have any loss from the sleet wheat if we can't keep up with the production. And I think that's better than having it shipped off into this storage and then pulled out as needed. I think this will work. So we're going to give it a try. We'll get this finished, built up. I want to do, once I get this all worked out, we're going to triple this farm to make enough to do I think I'm going to do about 35,000 calories per cycle is what this farm will be able to grow at maximum production. We'll see once we're done. I'll do some math and figure out the best numbers to use. But after we get the sleet wheat farm up and running, we got to get some bristle blossom farms running as well. And then we'll be able to get our berry sludge production going much faster. The thing that is holding us up right now is I need metal to build things, and so if I go to shipping and I go to build a conveyor rail, I have very little steel left. I have no other ores left. So what I'm doing to get steel, so I can just build things out of steel, I have plenty of fossil to make lime, or plenty of lime that I've made from fossils and stuff. What I don't have is iron ore, so I have rusty oxidizers here. They are producing iron ore, which is getting turned into steel. Our rust is coming from our rocket, which is going and mining it, and it's sitting down here getting loaded up. Ooh, I have some heat going on up here. I'll have to look into that and see what's going on. And I also have, this production is halted because of gas flow. It's because I have all this gas coming out from down here, but eventually this will be finished offloading gases here, and I can shut this down. I built this here. I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but basically I'm making a cap on the bottom of the map that goes all the way across here. Eventually I'm going to fix this over here as well to make it level, and then that way all the gases settle. All the gases tend to move all the way to the left, and then they'll end up in this chamber, and then I have pumps here to pump it out. I'm going to set up some automation so that this is not pumping out oxygen, which is what it's currently doing. Not sure how I want to handle doing that quite yet. Ooh, I have a lot of problems with broken pipes here. I guess that's because I'm probably pumping up sulfur. So what I need to do for now is cut this. I have this unloading the sulfur from here so that I can get rid of it. And it was just getting here and getting pumped back in. I didn't think about that. So that broke a bunch of pipes. We'll fix that at some point. I'm getting rid of this petroleum that built up down here. And then I'm going to start turning this back on. We'll turn oil production back on. A lot of little things going on, but mostly we're working on getting this done and all those little side projects in the side. So this is almost done. Once we get it set up, I'm going to do some more tweaking, and then we will continue to expand it even further. gotten the sleet wheat farm portion up and running. We have 45 total sleet wheat plants, and they're growing. They are nice and cold because of the blast chiller we installed. Right now they're being hand-fed dirt. Eventually we will have it so that dirt gets delivered here so that they don't have to carry it all the way over. But we're still waiting on more steel. I have rust being converted to iron, being converted into steel at the moment, but that's taking time. That's done over here. I think I showed it, but I just have some rusty oxidizers, and then I have pulling out the oxygen and chlorine that it makes, and then the iron just gets taken up. Probably put in some automation to bring this iron ore up so that they don't have to bring it up eventually, but for now it's close enough that they can just grab it as they need it and get steel production going. I just put in a regular gas filter. I usually prefer to use the gas filters that I do with, let me see where I can show you one, like this one up here that has the loop and then the element sensor and the shutoffs, because the advantage to that is that will continue to loop the gas and you won't ever have any gas get sent out the wrong pipe during a power outage. This one has the potential that if power goes off, there's a blob of gas here that it is the wrong kind for that. It may get shifted down the wrong pipe when there is a power outage. But for this application, I think it's going to be fine. We're going to have, if power goes out, we're not going to have any more gases getting pumped anyway. It's worth it. It's worth the risk. And this is, if it does do that, we're just going to end up with a blob of gas in the wrong stacker here, which means it's going to get caught and I'll have to fix it. It's not going to get sent off to the storage. So it's a minimal risk. So I left it like that. But basically this filters out chlorine into this pipe and oxygen into that pipe, and then this stacks them so that it sends them off when there is a full stack of gas to be sent out. So you can see the oxygen is the one that goes the most, but the reason I like to do the stacker is so it leaves gaps, and then as it comes up, it picks up gas from here that is coming in from Organi, and it fills the line, and it leaves enough spaces so that there's only full gas going through this system instead of little blips, because I'm still trying to empty out the gas from this line. In fact, it looks like it just got enough out that this is empty. But so that's what we're working on now. This gas pump has now pulled out all the extra chlorine from the system. So I want to cut this off. This I want to get out of here too. I hope I can deconstruct that while this is open. I forgot to remove it. I think we can get in there. The gas pipe here. Yeah, somebody will get in to grab it eventually, and then we'll be able to pull it out using an auto sweeper. It'll leave the item there, but we'll be able to pull it out. So now what we can do is we can get rid of, actually, let's do this tile first. I want to get some of this carbon dioxide put in here so that we have carbon dioxide stored in this room. We have a little bit here, but I'd like to have it highly condensed in here as we're removing this system. But basically, we're going to remove all of this system here, and we're going to get the carbon dioxide here. Then we're going to put in our refrigerators and our auto sweepers that we need to set this system up so that it does it. And what I'm going to do is put in a liquid pump right here, and I'm going to put a bridge on to bridge coolant onto there. And then let me get some power. And the idea here is that all of this super coolant will get mopped up and put into our coolant line. That way we just don't have to deal with cleaning it up and sending it somewhere else. Oh, look, we got our berry sludge in there. It's not going to show that it's deep frozen because berry sludge doesn't have that stat. It's just going to sit there. But for now, they can't reach it. So we're going to have to... What is unreachable here? I think it's just saying that the barracks ledge is unreachable. So that's good. Now we got that construction done. We'll get this put in. We need to remove this tile and this tile. And then we can connect this gas line. And we don't need to get all of this. I just want to get a good amount in here so that this is nicely filled up with carbon dioxide, because I want to not have oxygen here. Basically, I want to push the oxygen out. Because we want this to stay all carbon dioxide so that this room stays sterile. That's water. Let's deconstruct this tile. This one we want to get deconstructed as well. So we can see this is already pretty full on carbon dioxide. So I can actually cut this off already. And then what we're going to do next is we'll break open these tiles, because this is where we're going to put our door. We'll put in squares here. So this system is going to have airflow tiles on top of it. So with it being full of carbon dioxide, any carbon dioxide from the sleeping duplicates and stuff will drop down. It will land in here, and it will force any little bits of oxygen that get in from other sources, or polluted oxygen mostly, to rise up and push out. So we just need it to be full when we start. We also want to do airflow tiles across the bottom of this to let this carbon dioxide out. So that can all be done. Let's get these two tiles a high priority so we don't trap anybody in here. And in order to get the supercoolant into that line, we need to temporarily cut that line. Oh, I did it the wrong way. That one needs to stay. This one goes. That way this can pump it up and send it in. We can't get down in there. That's why they can't get that last tile. So we'll get this one, and they can walk down in here. And we'll get all this mopped up. We'll get our fridges put in. We'll set up our filters. I am still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to be able to fit everything in, because this is going to be a little smaller than the other one, which is fine. That's by design. But I need to fit in an auto sweeper, and I need to fit in a conveyor loader. I think we'll be fine with that. If I remove this, go to shipping. Auto sweeper is three tiles. That's going to be an issue. If you look, you can kind of see the outline of where the auto sweeper can reach. And when the auto sweeper is up on this level here, it can reach the blocks inside of that refrigerator. But there, and there, it cannot. Let's get rid of this really quick, see if it can reach it from the other side. We may have to put the auto sweeper up a level higher. I wanted to have this room just be 3 blocks tall, but we may have to go with 4 just because of, or when we have the space. I just was trying to condense it as much as possible just because I like to do condensed things. It's not going to be the end of the world. But let's take our auto sweeper now. If I put it right here, it still can't reach. So none of the layers on this level will that auto sweeper be able to reach. So we have to put the auto sweeper up right there. That's where we're going to have to put it, which is fine. And then we're going to put airflow tiles up like this, which will allow the carbon dioxide to come in. Let's put our refrigerators in. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for our shipping, we also want to put in a conveyor loader, because from time to time, food that are sitting in these refrigerators, if they're sitting too long, may get may spoil if it doesn't get eaten fast enough. And if that happens and it turns into a rot pile, I don't want it to sit there and off gas. I want this sweeper to pull it out right away, throw it in here, and get rid of it. For now, I think we're just going to take a shipping rail, and we're going to run that from here. Let's run it down, and I'm just going to put it right there and drop it off. And that'll be fine, because we just want to get it out of there. Later, we'll send it over to storage or something and get that done. So, okay, we need to reconnect our coolant line. We can cancel the constructions on the different types of pipes. This can get deleted, and this can get deleted. This tile here can get deleted because we're going to put a door across there to make it so it separates it from the room. And we'll put 2 ladders here just to make it so that they can get down in easily. I don't think they actually need that. I think they can get from here down to here, and then they can go in. But I always put them there just to be safe. So the last things we need to do is to turn this into a great hall. We're going to need to put in our mess tables, and we're going to need to put in our items to make it a great hall. So our water cooler and our decorations. And we will have it so that people can start eating their dinner over here rather than running all the way across the map. Finally, it took us a couple hundred cycles to get that done, but I'm going to come back once we have that all laid out, because I just want to figure out the best placement for putting everything to make everything fit. I got to fit 14 tables in here to support the 14 slots that I have for barracks. Rather than run shipping lines all from this all the way over just to move this food, I decided I'm going to risk losing some of it. And I cracked this open. I issued move commands at high priority on all this food, and I'm moving them down to here. This is set to pick up everything that's in this spot, put it into here. It gets put into here, and then this auto sweeper can put items into the refrigerators, but also into here, and this will put everything except for the items that I'm storing as far as food into this loader, and it gets dropped out. So the items in here that are edible will stay. The ones that can go into the fridge will fill that up first, and then everything else will just get dropped down. The issue is that there is quite a bit of food here. There's still hundreds of thousands of calories, maybe even millions still. Looks like we actually got the bulk of it moved now, but when you do the move command, you can move a lot more than if they're picking it up with a sweep command. So it's mostly all moved down here already. The main thing was the Swampy Delights. If you look, it's the 3rd item, 2nd one on the top row. 5 million calories are now in store under deep freeze. So that's like the bulk of our food. So we're set for now. We still have more that needs to get moved. I need to set up a electric grill so that we can do some more cooking stuff. And another thing we want to work on is actually moving our storage here to a permanent home. And we're going to do that down underneath here. And I'm going to do some more slightly fancy things with it. Because the main problem we had with that before was that when we put in items, if they were too hot, they would cause problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a system here that has automatic dispensers that drop all the items together. So it'd be something like that. And then over here, I'm also going to have automatic actually, no, this will be the automatic dispensers, and then this will be done with our conveyor loaders. So we'll have a conveyor chute that puts it here. And so then duplicants will drop off items here. They'll get picked up by an auto sweeper. And then I'm going to have some automation that sends the items through a loop on a conveyor rail, and it checks its temperature, and it won't let it go until it is under a certain temperature. And I may just have it set up so that it goes through, and if it is cool enough, it goes in. If not, it goes off to a chamber that I set up to cool items. and then get sent back. That way we can have like a pre-chiller to make sure that if we do sweep up an item that is 1,000 degrees, like igneous rock, and it gets put in, it gets sent off to a loop where it cools down before we can use it. And then I can set up some automation for taking the items out and sending them off where we need to go, things like that. So it's a pretty big project. We'll work on it down the road. But as far as this system goes, we now have food stored. We have all of our mess tables set up in here. I put in some artwork to make our decor better. So if we look at our decor overlay, it's pretty decent. Probably do a little bit more underneath here, maybe some paintings just to make it nice and bright for everything. As far as our room, it is a great hall because it meets the size requirements and it has all the things we need, which means that now our duplicants are getting that morale boost, and everything is close by. So they come in, they use the bathroom, they run out and get their food, they eat, and then they come in and go to bed, so that their downtime routine is very, very quick and easy now. Let's see, I'm gonna set this to open. So this whole area is pretty much finished. I need to finish a couple little things here and put in a new door. Actually, I think everything's done there. Let's put the door in. And this is just a backup room for if we want to bring in another duplicant. But I have 14 beds. They all are assigned. This one's unassigned because that duplicant is currently off in space. Actually, I think he came back. Oh, that's right. I haven't set. I was unloading the rocket, and what I need to do is set this to be a grounded rocket so that he stops sleeping in here, which means that his bed gets reassigned. And if we come down and look, so now this was unassigned. Now it's assigned back to Hayes because his temporary bed in the rocket got moved. So now we have just Washington on this side. So as long as I can issue a command to him in there, and then on this side, if I issue enough commands to make sure that everybody leaves their house and does work in their exosuit each cycle for 10 cycles, we'll be able to get our final achievement. So that's what we're going to work on in the next episode. We now have everything set up we need to do that. But for now, we're going to call it quits because we pushing over the 30-minute mark, and we've gotten a lot done in this episode, finishing up this whole area here. I also still need to add in our bristle blossom plants so that we can have enough of those so that we can start making a lot more berry sludge. But we have quite a bit of food to hold us over, and I still need to ship the food from here over to the main colony because I don't need 9 million calories for one duplicant. I mean, I guess I could leave it there, but it's going to last us quite a bit of time. So we will spend the next episode working on getting that last base game achievement. And I hope you enjoyed watching this one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.